Hey, everybody, and welcome to Beyond the Guidelines with Creative First Mortgage. I'm Ryan Speltz. I'm with my business partner, Jason Maxam. And I say business partner, but we've known each other for a lot of years. And on this episode, our first episode of Beyond the Guidelines, I wanted to, and Jason wanted to bring to you why we started Creative First Mortgage and why we felt that we could offer something that was different for loan officers, for real estate agents, and for our clients. So I'm going to let Jason start off by telling his kind of origin story, if you will, and tell us where he's been, where he's gone, and where he wants to take Creative First Mortgage. So Jason, take it away.
Thanks, Ryan. So I've been in the business for, over 20 years now and seen it all, right? So we were retail, we were broker, back and forth again, hybrid, correspondent. I've been involved in pretty much all aspects of lending and originating on the mortgage side. Before licenses were even necessary, I was in the business, right? So before I go all the way back, I think the important part to know of one of the reasons why Ryan and I wanted to start is because in this market, and this market is super dynamic. So we have to keep up with the times and know what's happening. And so what we were running into really is like, we're at the forefront of new technology. As everyone knows, we have new tech, we have AI coming out, we have a lot of things that are happening at a very, very rapid pace. And so one of the reasons why I wanted to jump on and be a partner with Ryan is because my broker would not allow me to use current tech. And this is kind of what happens when you run into brokers that have, hey, listen, they're making good money. They've got their own system in place. They don't want to make any changes. They're comfortable. And that just wasn't sitting well with me. We were using a dinosaur archaic LOS system called Calyx Point for loan officers. I know, you know my pain. You know where we're coming from. Yeah, absolutely. And so I really had a hard time moving into just a more valuable technology-driven LOS system. And on top of that, we have all these new technologies, these new CRMs that come out that just aren't compatible with Calyx Point. So that was one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to move over, because I wanted to use good tech that can not only help my realtor partners, but of course our buyers, get them moving quickly, fast, efficiently, and communicating very well.
That's so important to be on the forefront of that, especially. Yeah. And you mentioned that brokers that have been doing it for a long time. And I'll take it one step farther, and really a lot of us have started at bigger companies, right? Because of the ease of entry, right? So at those bigger companies, think of just the sheer amount of assets and money that it takes to switch to that new technology. We've both gone through it where companies have tried to build their own technology because it feels cheaper or feels more affordable than just moving with the times and signing on with something else. And we've also seen it where they tried that, it didn't work, and then they went to another monster technology and it cost $1.5 million to implement across their 125 LOs. And that's the biggest thing is that, the freedom of movement, right? Like with the technology. And that's one of the most important pieces, being able to keep up with that. And we weren't able to do that at the prior companies.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think another big reason why I wanted to move is because we just didn't have full control over our business. And so like for a guy like me, and I know like you, Ryan, you already have established a way that you do business. We're successful in this business because of the systems and processes and all the procedures that we've done and learned really over the years on how to implement a strategy that works. And so without having that full autonomy to do what you want to do in terms of like how to run your business, like there's a lot of companies that just kind of put you in a box, right? They don't let you flourish because they wanted to do it your way. And so what we said is like, why don't we just open up a company for loan officers like us? We couldn't find what fit for us. And we kind of went back and forth about opening up this company for a while, right? We got really close. We kind of stopped. We started, working again, kind of independently. And then we both kind of came back at the same time. And to me, it was a God thing. It just really made sense. We were both at this pinnacle of, okay, we want to take our business to the next level, but we also want to have the flexibility to sign up with the investors we want, hire the way we want, put on our systems and procedures, use AI, use tech to implement into our system. And so that's what we wanted to do.
So yeah, man, and being able to run the business the way we want to, like you said, we've all established our own processes, and we always talk about borrowers fitting into boxes, right? Like we've got, that's why we came over to the broker side, a lot of it as well, because it opened up these other boxes that we could fit people into, that they don't have to be 700 credit score, 20% down. That box, doesn't exist. And we talk about it with banks versus broker all the time. And so just not having to fit your process into someone else's box that's been designed, right? Like that's what a lot of those companies are. And you're not going into a company of the size of some of these companies and changing the way they do business. It will 100% always be company first. And
That's right.
so creating a broker first environment was so important for both of us. And I know you were mentioning something the other day about this, of like, where does the transparency come in with the money aspect? And being able to show, like, we're not stealing your money. This is all we're taking. Like, it's
Right.
all right there, right? Like, and we're not going to take more. We're not going to take less. That's what it is.
Right.
Uh, and some of those other companies just don't operate that way. And I know you've got some experience with that as well.
So yeah, Ryan, that's a great point. So I know a lot of other independent brokerages and retail, they don't pay as much as I think they can, but sometimes for good reason, right? So sometimes loan officers, they do need help with leads, or they do need help with training and for sales pitches and for, expenses and things like that. But, for us, we didn't really need that, right? We've already built that up, and we already had a plethora of business coming in. We already know how to run our business. And that was the idea behind it. We wanted to create a company that would fit for guys like us. Somebody that has an established book of business, that doesn't need a lot of help, that can jump in and just run their business almost like their own company. So imagine having your own company, but not having to worry about compliance, post-closing, licensing and all that kind of stuff. So we have that all figured out. And so now we have this amazing opportunity for other loan officers, if they choose to work with us, right? They can just plug in, they keep 100% of their commission. Of course, we'll take a per file fee and help them with some other things that we can go into detail about. But the reality is, I think that's what a lot of loan officers are looking for. They don't need to spend extra money on marketing. They don't need extra, money for leads or sales training, any of that sort. So that's really another great reason why me and you went on our own.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to design as well. And I go back to the term of the island of misfit toys, right? Like I felt like that's such a great analogy for what we were trying to build together, and what I've just had in my brain for a long time. And I say it that way because, like, if you feel like you've never fit in somewhere, right? Like you're noticing like something's not right because you can't change it because the company's too big, or it's just the way things are. Whether it is your comp, or whether it is something that you're running in your business, or whether you have to, in some of these other companies, I've had to abide by stricter rules, the overlays, and all of that stuff. Like, obviously retail to broker is pretty easy to sell in that way.
Right.
But it is true. Like, it's just the opportunity, and I go back to the word freedom. Like, freedom is what we're trying to build. Both of us wanted it. Both of us couldn't find it exactly the way we wanted it. And so we're building it. And, you mentioned that other companies offer different splits, and they offer different advantages of whether they're leads or training or whatever. We are the perfect company, just not for everybody, just like every other company, right? Like,
Yep.
some of those bigger companies may be the perfect company for a guy that just wants to go sit on the phone all week, like
That's right.
slamming leads. That's great. Go do that for a while, or go do that for as long as you want. That may be what you want. Here, that's not
Wow,
what
that's
we're
a great
building.
point.
So
Yeah.
being able to understand that, and so we love having conversations with people and bring them into this environment. And I think that's what we've talked about, is taking this podcast style introduction, and bringing people into this environment, and whether it's loan officers or real estate agents, or even some of our clients that have businesses, and bringing them in and talking about why they do what they do, and being able to kind of display a different side of who they are as a person. And I think this is important for us to get on camera and talk with people about that, and being able to have that as an outlet to provide value to your sphere of influence. And a lot of times, and we all see it, there's the real estate agents that you scroll through their feed and it's nothing but open house, open house.
Yep.
I
Yep.
just sold. and I make the joke of agents selling the house 4 times before it actually closes, but that is one thing, but LOs do the same thing in their own way. But being able to show a different side, and Jason, I love sharing space with you, and I think you've got a couple people that we're talking about being interested in coming on with us, so I'm excited to see where we can go with this format and seeing who we can bring on.
Absolutely. And I'll add this. So just for any loan officer out there that's listening to this and is considering making a move, I'll be very clear. It's not like we're not helping in sales, right? Like we're building a culture and a brand that is going to allow them to flourish. Other than, buying leads, we want to show you how to get your lead sources organically, on Facebook, having weekly sales calls, learning from, experienced guys how to build realtor relationships, things like that. Like that's all still part of it, right? And so we want to build a culture of us collaborating together because, I've been in this business over 20 years. I learn something every day. So I'm always hungry to learn on how to get new business and what new technologies we can use. And so the collaboration together, with our loan officers, that's something that is going to be very exciting as well.
Yeah, the collaboration piece is huge, and being able to recognize it, like even if that guy is sitting next to you or has an office across the street, like that's not your competition, even if he's on another company, right? Like you look at him as maybe competition, and really like you guys could build each other, right? Because that guy knows something that you don't, and you know something that he doesn't. And the other piece of it is, building a lifestyle, right? Like I mentioned that guy that goes to the office every day, or that lady that goes to the office every day and just makes calls for 8 hours. Like maybe they love it because they can shut the phone off and not have to answer the phone after hours. And maybe you're in a situation where you feel like you have to answer the phone 12 hours a day. And maybe that's the scenario. But the idea of what we're building is to help you build your company, your business, into a way of you wanting to live your life and helping support that. Because it's not just about the business. Obviously, we've been in the industry long enough. We know how we can go get a lead. We know how to get it through the system. We know our process, but it's also that other side of building people instead of just building business. And so, that's I've mentioned it before to you, Jason, where I noticed that a lot of times brokers in general are looking at loan officers as the gravy to their scenario, right? Like their personal production kind of covers everything. They don't have to worry about the bills being paid. And I think it should be flipped. I think as the broker, we should be focusing on you as the loan officer inside our company because we want you to be better. And that helps both of us. It's a mutual relationship that grows both sides. So instead of me focusing solely on my business, I want to focus on your business. I want to know what your wants are, your needs are. How do we get you there? And I know that, you and I have had conversations, Jason, that definitely made me think differently about like, would you do this if you had $1 million in your pocket tomorrow?
Right. I mean, it's a great way to think, right? If you had $20 million in your bank account, how would you run your business now?
Yeah.
Because it changes everything. Because like we don't want to focus on the money. We want to focus on the process. But here's the thing, like we're not perfect. And so we want to continue to get better. I've been in this business over 20 years. Like I said, I will always be learning new things, especially when it comes to technology. Technology moves so quickly. And so our goal is really to stay on top of it, be on the forefront of that. Why? Well, we want to be able to communicate with people in a really good way. We want to be able to offer things that maybe people haven't thought of, right? AI is a big deal. It's moving really quick. Are you an expert at that? I know I'm not.
Definitely
every day it seems like there's something new.
Yeah, I'm sending you and our team stuff all the time, like just sending you stuff that I've figured out how to do and having fun playing around with it, and being able to share that and creating workflows for it and stuff like that. Like that's where I'd love to take some of this stuff as well, as being able to bring people in, show them stuff they don't know how to do, and either help them do it or say just record the video and send it to me and I'll update it. And now you've got some great social media content as well. So, obviously we could talk all day about like all of the things that we're trying to create as benefit for the people, and, just stuff that we could create and where we could go, ideally.
Yeah. And I'll add this, Ryan, as we grow and implement, I think as long as we have that mentality of loan officer first, right? So loan officer first, put ourselves in the shoes of a loan officer looking for a better mousetrap. That's our goal, and that's where we want to move forward and towards, because I mean, this is the way, this is the only way that we're going to be better as a company, not only just for our loan officers, but as a whole. Okay.
So kind of where we're at right now is just looking for 3 to 5 loan officers that want to have conversations and get you in the door and kind of embrace the system, embrace the freedom, as I keep going back to, of the broker world. And maybe, like I said, maybe you are at a mortgage brokerage and you're just not feeling the love, or you're not getting into a place of being able to do what you need to do in your business. Or maybe you're at a retail shop and you can come over and see instantly, the price comparison where we're going to save money because we don't have the corporate overhead. That's just kind of where we're at. And we'd love to have private conversations with whoever's interested in talking. And whether it's about coming to our company, or, we're even open to helping you transition into your own brokerage as a single man shop or single person shop or whatever. If that's something you're interested in, we've obviously started the company and we know how to do that. And we're happy to kind of help out on that regard as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, whether you're looking for a new place to come, or if you're just curious on how to open up your own company, feel free to reach out to us. I mean, we're an open book. We had to go through a lot of hurdles, and we've had a lot of other help with other companies and mentors that have taught us not only how to open up our own company, but be willing to share information with us on how to do that. We actually helped transition a team that went through our company that opened up their own. And so we were able to help them get established. They got to pick our brain a little bit, right, on how the licensing worked and the compliance worked. So, that's another resource that you can have, guys. So we're here to help. Whether, like I said, you're coming on board and want to work with us, or if you just have an interest of what we're talking about, hey, give us a ring, shoot us a DM. We'll be happy to share our knowledge, and hopefully it'll help you.
Yeah. And taking that one step farther, if you're interested in coming on and you want to, we're happy to kind of help you out with the editing piece. I've kind of got that dialed in as far as the pathway that this stuff takes afterwards, but get you some free social media content, have an open book conversation about your business, your life, who you are as a person, why you do what you do, and get a different view out to your social sphere, whether you're a loan officer, real estate agent, or, like I said, if you're a business owner or something as one of our clients or whatever. Happy to bring you on in the podcast as well, and kind of have a mutually beneficial conversation with that stuff too, and get some content out for you. So, Jason, appreciate you jumping on. I mean, obviously we talk pretty much all day, every day. Just give this a little freedom.
Now people get to see our dynamic, so hopefully it's either going to be a train wreck or a win, right?
Yeah. Lots of ham and egg in it, as Jason would say. Lots of back and forth. So appreciate you listening, and let us know if you got any questions. Have a good day.